friends, today I will be talking to you about two important aspects of our personality, that is phobia and depression. Now, I combine these two terms because there are a lot of misconceptions about phobias and depression. Let me tackle first phobia. There is a difference between phobia and fear. Phobia is an anxiety disorder, mental anxiety disorder. Anxiety is our fear about future, what will happen in future. So our fear about future, we call it anxiety, and about the current situation, we call it fear. When it becomes a kind of constant situation, then we call it phobia. Now, phobia may be genetic or it may be environmental. For example, some people they may get phobia. I have been asked by some friends like claustrophobia and cynophobia. Claustrophobia is a phobia that you have fear of closed places. There is another kind of phobia which is called agoraphobia. So agoraphobia, that is when you have fear of open places, that you can't go to open spaces and then you feel fear. So that is agoraphobia. There are so many phobias, like people have phobia, spiders and snakes and heights. So there are so many phobias, and there is a list that I have already shared. Now the question is that how to treat phobia. One of the important theory to treat phobia, that is your cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognition, behavior, and therapy. Cognition is what is going on inside your mind, your thoughts. That is cognition. And behavior, when you come outside and you present your ideas in the form of action in a society, community, then that is called your attitude or your behavior. So when we control both our thought process as well as our behavior, because behavior is the manifestation, behavior is the expression of your thoughts. For example, I'm talking to you now, so this is my behavior, how I am speaking, how I am tackling you. So when we control our thoughts and our behavior, so we control our phobia. There is another treatment, and that is called exposure therapy. Exposure therapy means treatment that you must get yourself exposed to such situations. For example, you have cynophobia. So cynophobia is that you have fear of dogs. When you see dog, so you have a kind of irrational aversion or fear, because phobia is irrational. It is not reasonable. Dog, there are so many people, they have dogs and they don't have fear of that. They have no phobia. For example, if there is a dog and that dog is biting people, or if that dog is mad dog, so automatically everybody will have fear. So that is not phobia, because phobia is irrational, that is unreasonable, that has no reason. For example, there are so many people, they go in elevator. Elevator is a small place. Okay, many people, thousands and millions of people, they go in elevators, but they have no fear. So why you have fear? That's why phobia is irrational. Irrational. It is not acceptable to common accepted behavior. So we have to expose ourselves, and sometimes the reaction, like phobia may continue up to 6 months. So the reaction to the thing that we have fear, that is more powerful than the phobia itself. For example, what a dog can do. Dog may bite you, and even if the dog is not mad, so its biting is not a big problem. You can have a small injury and then you can be treated. But the reaction that you have, your running, your palpitation, then your heartbeat, and then your body, and then your you start trembling, shivering, and then you have so many other disorders which are more than the actual danger. There are dangers, like fire is a danger, or for example water. If you don't know swimming, it is a danger. But how is your response to that? Sometimes the response becomes more aggressive than the fear itself. So what it means that we are doing something which is irrational, and we have to control our this irrational behavior in a rational way. So exposure therapy. Exposure means that slowly and gradually, under the supervision of some person, you are exposed to dogs. And there are so many varieties of dogs, which are, some dogs are domestic, they are docile, and then you can go, you can play with them, you can touch them slowly and slowly, and when there will be no reaction, then automatically your cognition and your behavior, that will be controlled, that if I touch this dog, nothing will happen to me. And if I'm in a close place, so nothing happened to me, because nothing happened to me and nothing happens to anybody. This is something common. So you have to convince yourself with continuous, constant exposure. You have to expose yourself to such a situation. So then that will be, that is one of the therapy. Another therapy is systematic desensitization. Systematic desensitization. We are sensitive to some things, so systematically, slowly, gradually, we are touching, we are, because our thinking, feeling, and our action, these three things we have to control. So desensitization means that we are not becoming sensitive. We are no more sensitive to the situation or to the object. For example, we are touching it, we are feeling it, and we then think that, oh, I was just thinking that it is something very bad, but this thing did not do anything to me. I'm the same person. I'm all right. There is nothing like something which is to be worried about. So systematic desensitization. The usual thing that you must go to a psychiatrist or psychologist. They are the people who will professionally treat you if your situation is severe. Otherwise, self-help. Self-help, that is important. That you can, if you are more like physically, mentally, and spiritually, you are strong and you are a stoic person. Stoicism is that when you are so strong inside that the outside environment or society, they don't affect you. You are like a rock, and you are so strong that you are a determined person, then nothing can affect you negatively. Any a dog or a closed place or an open space or a spider or a snake, these things won't be bothering you because you are so strong inside. So this is a kind of weakness that you have inside, and that's why then you have problems in your expression in the form of phobia. Depression is concerned because sometimes we have fears, we have anxiety for future and fear for the current situation, the present situation. So this thing press us. Depression is from the word press. There are different stressors. Those stressors may be chemical stressors like caffeine or alcohol. Those stressors may be environmental like cold or temperature or, for example, other things. Those stressors may be like your family, your parents, your children, your siblings. They give you stress. They depress you, they press you. There is a continuous pressure on you, pressure on your mind, pressure on your body, pressure on your soul. So you feel pressed. Pressure, you might have seen the word pressure. We press something, and then we are depressed. Depressed means that now we don't have interest in our activities, and our mood swings. We don't enjoy, we don't have pleasure, we don't have happiness in our life, and then we just go, and then we have some phobias because, oh, if I do something, so the consequences will be catastrophic, the consequences will be disastrous, so then you will be unable to control those things. So you go in depression. Now for depression, the opposite of depression is happiness. So happiness is your well-being, that is your pleasure, that is your environment, that is your relationships, that is your elasticity, that is your success, that you must involve yourself. Involvement. For example, on my Facebook page, I let the people to involve involved, when they are involved, so then you are not affected by stimuli are the changes in environment. You are so strong, you are like a rock, and then you are not easily depressed because you are doing something which will lead you to success. So the opposite of depression is happiness. You must make yourself happy, and when you are happy, automatically you will be not depressed. And happiness is more spiritual. It is more like when you do some, there are some virtue theory and there is Aristotle theory, that we must be practice happiness. We must be all the time happy. Balanced diet, no sugar. If we have like more proteins and more minerals and vitamins in our food, so automatically our body will be functioning well. We won't have pains, we won't have aches, so automatically we will not go in depression. We should not involve ourselves in such situations. For example, if we are not married, so we may not go for some unnatural marriages. Sometimes, if you have because of some ethnic or because of color or because of age or because of some other situations. You might have heard the news that a minister committed suicide and killed his wife. Why? Because these are unnatural things, and these unnatural things then they affect you. If you do something with mutual consent and you are satisfied, so automatically you will be not depressed. So this was my first introductory lecture on depression and phobia. If you have any particular phobias, I have studied a lot of phobias on different kinds of phobias, so you can discuss it with me in response to this video. I just wanted to start this discussion because the people, they have fears, they have phobias, so automatically then they don't express it. Once you express it, then that is diagnosis. You diagnose it, and then the cure or treatment, that is then the next step. So don't feel like depressed because you are not achieving your goals and you have mood swings. Your mood must be constant, and that is called bliss. You must be blessed all the time. And spirituality is such a effective treatment and cure for all such psychological mental disorders and phobias or fear or anxiety or whatever you have, your depression. If you are spiritual, when you go beyond your body and mind, then automatically you are in such a situation that all these things, for example, if you have $1,000, so then $100 or $1 will be not of any value to you because already you have 1,000. So if you have gold, you will be not worried about stones. So tomorrow, Saturday, we will do our meditation at 9 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time, and in that we will try that you become master of your body, and you become master of your mind, and you become master of your soul. Thank you.